Hey guys, this is BoomTheBombOmb. How is my Bob-Omb battalion doing today? I have a very special guest with me today for a start of a new series. I would like to introduce to you guys my father, attorney at law, Abe Weiss. So, Abe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've practiced law for many years. I've argued cases and practiced in the federal district and appellate courts. I have written on the law. I've lectured extensively on legal issues from coast to coast. And I currently have an active practice in law.
So assuming all of you understood that, because I only understood half of that. I mean, I'm not an attorney. I'm not, a huge law person, but I have played Phoenix Wright, and I know enough that it is not accurate at all to our courts, our justice system, but that's the whole point. I mean, it's supposed to be, thrilling and zany and the like. So I wanted to go through this with my father and, just have a grand old time and hear his commentary and laughs at the ridiculousness that is this game. But that's what made it so great.
Your listeners should know I have not seen this game.
Yes, he is going into this blind. I'm not. So I'm going to be leaving a lot of the decision-making to him.
I have not seen it. I have not experienced it. I've seen a trailer, and that's the extent of my knowledge about this game.
Exactly. So let us begin. Phoenix Wright, the Ace Attorney Trilogy. So this consists of 3 games that came out over a period of years on the Game Boy, way back. And these were originally in Japan, and they came to the States much later, if I remember correctly. Oh, press the A button. Okay. Oh, loading. Oh, save data. Yay. And here we are, the title screen. Oh god, that's a little loud. Let's turn that down a little bit. There we go. That is still loud. What the heck? Okay. Let me see. Background music's fine. Sound effects. Let's turn that down to 1. Text skip. Vibration. Yeah, let's turn off vibration. Text box. Transparency. There we go. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's begin! I have not touched this game since I bought it on my Switch. However, I do have the original Trilogy on my 3DS, so I have been through this. So, let us begin. So, we have 3 games in this series. So, we have the original Ace Attorney, we have Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All, and Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. These games all came out separately originally, as you could probably deduce. Let's start at the beginning. Let's play this game. Episode 1, the first turnabout. So, there's a lot of dialogue here, so you and I will probably be trading off voices for certain characters. I'll have you naturally speaking as Phoenix Wright.
Okay.
And let's just have a good time with this. Okay, the first turnabout? Yes. Gasp. Gasp. I know they don't actually say gasp, but whatever. Darn it! Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I have got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. So this naturally being our first case, the game gives us a little bit of a bone. Throws us a little bit of a bone to tell us who we're looking for, but other cases won't do that.
Okay.
This is just so one can learn the mechanics of the game.
Boy, am I nervous.
Right.
Oh, hiya, Chief.
Ooh, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well.
Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor.
A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case?
Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney.
Well, that's news to me. I want... Oh, sorry.
I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much.
It's over! My life, everything, it's all over. Is that your client screaming over there?
Yeah, it's him.
Death! Despair! Oh! I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna die! It sounds like he wants to die.
Yeah,
Nick?
Hey there, Larry.
Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die.
What? What's wrong, Larry?
Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Ah, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away?
The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? Newspapers say it was you.
So anyway, just so you know, you may have noticed that the text changes color. The stuff in parentheses, in blue, is your inner thoughts.
I gathered as such.
I just wanted to be sure that you knew, because sometimes people are not familiar with this stuff. It does get a little weird.
My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Ahem. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm a little nervous.
Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves.
Thank you, Your Honor. No judge would ever say that to an attorney in a courtroom, by the way.
I would imagine not. But this being a battle of wits as opposed to trying to convince a jury, of course, there would be a lot of nerves and reason to warn someone.
Also notice they have the scales of justice right above his bald head, and and the base of that scale of justice is made to look like a halo.
You're right! I never noticed that. I think that's because... Okay, let me tell you something. The games that I played were very low res, being them from the Game Boy era, then ported to the 3DS. They were very low resolution. For the Switch version, they've completely redone the art, so everything is a lot more clear. So, of course, I never noticed that. That's really interesting they put it like that.
Another aspect of this is that you look at the judge. I have never encountered a judge with so much as a mustache, much less a full beard. And
yeah, that's like the stereotype, isn't it?
And so there's a stereotype here, but not of a judge. I think that there is almost a divine stereotype where they're seeing God as a male figure, with the halo above the head and a beard. There could be some subtle aspect of that.
I know. I think you're actually right, because the judge is the one who decides the verdict in this, period, number one. Number two, there is a case in the beginning of the second game where Phoenix is having a nightmare, and it does show the judge as this godly figure.
Well, there is a sense that a judge, particularly a federal court judge, and I mentioned that I practice in the federal courts, federal judges are appointed for life, and so there is a sense that a federal judge is a god in his own courtroom, that he can really have a lot of control over what goes on, and you never want to cross the person who's in that position. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so that's interesting to know. Thank you for that. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness.
Yes, Your Honor. Eyesight fading, hands shaking.
The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. So who's our defendant?
Larry Butts.
Yes. Alright.
The defendant, well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor.
Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name?
Oh, I know this one. Glad I read the case report to cover so many times. It's... Wait. No way. I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here.
Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name?
Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I just forgot temporarily. I think
I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press the R button to check it at any time, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who's the victim of this case? So let's check the court record, because we haven't really been told this. But there's always evidence in the court record that we have to go over. So, if I'm to push the R button like so, boink! We have the court record! So the one piece of evidence you're always going to have on you is your badge. And that is, your attorney's badge. No, I would not believe I was a defense attorney if I didn't carry this. So, there's also the autopsy report. And as you can see here...
This is
Cindy's autopsy report, cause of death, loss of the child. And if we also have another thing we can go to here, and that's profiles. And that's of everyone we've met for the case, aside from the judge. So, we have Mia Fey, who's our boss and mentor. Larry Butts, the defendant. We have Cindy Stone. So that's the same name as on the autopsy report, the last name. So I would assume that's our victim. And lastly, we have the prosecution that we're going up against, Winston Payne.
Okay.
So, who was the,
Cindy Stone.
Cindy Stone. I like how they say cinder block.
The victim's name is Cindy Stone.
Correct. Now, tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was... So, it was hit blunt trauma.
Trauma, right.
So she was hit with a blunt object.
Right. She was struck once by a blunt object.
Correct. You have answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed.
Now, by the way, before we go any further, it might seem unusual for a judge to interrogate a defense counsel in this fashion.
Of course, but this is more of the game's tutorial, like telling you, it's giving you the basics.
But actually, this is not as far-fetched from the truth as you might have thought.
Really?
When I was a youngster, there was a criminal attorney in the city that was in our community, social community. My father, of blessed memory, knew him very well. And this judge was known as being very sharp, but he was also known for needling attorneys who came before him. He needled prosecutors, he needled defense attorneys. What that meant is that they would come before him and he would start asking them questions. Where did you go to law school? How did you do in law school? What do you do in your free time? And he did this basically to show them who was boss. In other words, he may have asked questions that were totally irrelevant to the case before them, maybe not, but it was an interrogation that these attorneys were not used to. And they had better show him deference, because if they got on his wrong side, he could make life very difficult for them. So
and potentially their clients as well.
Right. So even though this may seem far-fetched that no real judge would do this, actually a real judge did do this sort of thing.
Wow! You guys heard it here first! And speaking of hearing it here first, now that we've gotten past the main, setup for the trial, I'm going to end the episode here just to ensure that my recording does not get corrupted. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. This has been BoomTheBombOmb and Abe Weiss, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye!